Hey everybody, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. Welcome to Open. We've got it wide open for you. And coming up on today's show, we'll sit down with a therapist who will speak about the importance of self-care and mental health. Then we'll hear from the producer and director of the biggest gospel event the Bronx will experience this year. And finally, we'll sit down with the founder, president, and CEO of an organization providing youth living in low-income communities, culturally enriching experiences, and so much more. So tune in, keep it right here, kick back, kick off your shoes, and relax your feet. We're wide open, and here we go. Hey, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. You're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Our first guest is a bilingual English-Spanish licensed clinical social worker with over 25 years of experience in the area of perennial mood disorders. So we're going to find out what that's all about. And she deals with the family and children's social work. So she joins us to speak about the services she offers through her organization, Burgos Psychotherapy, and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Lottie Burgos. Welcome.
Good morning.
How
Thank
are
you
you?
for having me.
Now, you're doing all these wonderful things. Did you just start this, or this is something that's been around for a while and we just didn't hear about it yet?
I've been working at Mount Sinai Hospital for 25 years, and I started my private practice about a year ago, Burgos Psychotherapy, to really have an opportunity to work with more folks around issues of depression, anxiety, perinatal mood disorders, and really give back to my community just because so many people are struggling.
So you started your practice just to get closer to the people that you deal with in your practice.
Correct. I mean, I feel like in my day job, I'm an administrator now,
Uh huh.
and I don't get to see patients as often as I used to. And the clinical work is so important to me because I feel that's the work that I'm really passionate about, where I really get to work with folks and improve their mental health, which I think is so important.
Yeah. And what is psychotherapy, and how impactful can managing stress for mothers be?
Well, as you may imagine, becoming a new parent is an extremely stressful situation, even under the best circumstances, right? Some people have support, they're ready, this is a wanted pregnancy. But for some, they don't always have the resources and the support that they need. And even again, when you do have those supports, um, sometimes people develop depression, they develop anxiety, right?
Mm.
There's some chemical imbalances. There's a hormonal shift that
Yeah.
happens when you become pregnant and then you have a baby. And so, usually obstetricians for a long time, I don't think always recognized that these mood disorders were happening, that these changes were happening. And really, to be honest, a lot of parents were feeling very alone in their journey and were really struggling in silence. And there is no reason to struggle in silence, especially when, there is help. And with help, you can get better.
Mm.
So it's really impactful also because, they always say a happy mom, happy baby, right?
Yes.
So if the mother's mental health is not addressed, right, then that has poor outcomes for their babies and their children.
Yeah. And mothers should practice. You recommended mothers should practice self-care, and how can they uh, uh, how can they approach postpartum stress?
Well, first of all, social support is key. There have been many times when, I have had clients that
Yeah.
we go into our first session, and the first thing I ask is, who is helping you? Who do you call when you're feeling stressed? Who is making a meal for you? Who's holding your baby while you take a shower? Those things are really important. So just sort of like starting there with um, kind of, I think, exploring who are their social supports, who can they call, and sometimes just helping them feel comfortable asking for help, especially in some communities, in Black and Latino communities, right? We are taught to be strong, and right, and especially the role of being a mother is so important. So how do we teach them, right, to be open and to help, receptive to help, and to feel comfortable asking for help?
Yeah. And then there's some signs. What are some of those maternal mental health and therapy warning signs that we should be aware of?
So if you see that a new mom, right, is a little withdrawn,
Hmm.
if they're crying a lot, right, if they're a bit anxious, because it's not just depression, it can be anxiety, right? So if they're a little anxious more than usual about baby safety, if you see a mom, even anger, people don't realize, but sometimes depression can manifest with anger. So if they're irritable, right, if they are upset, if they are having trouble bonding with the baby, if they don't want to get out of bed, if you feel that they're just not motivated,
Yeah.
those are all signs to look out for.
And how important is this therapy in dealing with the people of our community?
So important because, again, in our community, we are taught to be these strong women, right? To parent our children, to put ourselves last, take care of everyone else, take care of the home, the husband, the spouse, right? The other children. And then we forget to take care of ourselves. And the therapy is important in addressing, you know,
Yeah.
those needs for ourselves. How do we take care of ourselves so we are at our best mentally and physically so that we can take care of others, and just sort of normalizing that this is a huge shift for us, and how do we adapt, and how do we use our community support so that we can adapt and be the best version of ourselves.
Yeah. And what triggers these things? Is it just the pregnancy or the after the
So
baby's
there's
born or?
Yeah, I mean, researchers don't have a straight answer. I mean, some people think it's hormonal, right? Then there are risk factors. If
Yeah.
you have a history of depression, of anxiety, if there's a family history, if someone in your family suffered from depression or anxiety, sometimes it's just the role transition
Yeah.
of going from, not having that baby to now all of a sudden having this baby and all the responsibilities. I mean, you're talking about a financial burden, right? You're now having to pay for childcare. You're talking about changing your schedule. You're talking about changing the way you work. So it's, and then there's the hormonal stuff, right? Of becoming pregnant and then not being pregnant. So it's a number of things that they think is the blame for this.
What can you do for people who really don't want to say, "Hey, I'm having a problem here. There's a situation. This is like a stigma. I don't want to reach out to anybody." What do you say to those people?
So those people, I say, you know what? Anyone can use a little support. Even if I didn't have depression, even if I didn't have anxiety, even if I didn't have like a huge problem. I mean, how nice it is, right? I mean, I go to my therapist once a week and I sit there, and even when I'm not having a terrible week, I mean, I love having that hour that's just to myself, that I'm not picking up the phone, that no one is
Yeah.
needing me to do something, and I just have an opportunity to talk about what's happened during the week. How can I make things better? How can I feel better? What are ways to do self care? So even if you are not at your worst, even if you don't feel you're at that point you need it, if
Mhm.
you're not feeling your best, it's probably a good idea to have some support.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're part of the Latinx and Social Work Collective. You're also an author, and
Yes.
tell us about the book that you have out, and what can we learn from that book?
Yeah, so the Latinx and Social Work book is a collection of books. We are
Hmm.
there's two books out, Volume One and Volume Two, and Volume Three will drop
Oh,
soon.
watch out.
Um, Yes, and it's basically Erica Sandoval, who is the editor of the book. It was had a great idea of just bringing together Latina social workers, Latina and Latino social workers,
Hmm.
to really write their narratives and their stories. And it really stemmed from just knowing that there are all these young social workers that are aspiring to sort of follow in our footsteps. And I think they had this notion, right? Like, wow, you weren't here, you've gotten to this place, you've done so much.
Yeah.
And not realizing that we went through some of the struggles they went through. So the narratives are really personal. They're not so much focused on the work and the accomplishments, although that is part of the story, but it's really focused on sort of how we got there. In my personal narrative, I talked about how hard it was when I was in high school in East Harlem and not being encouraged
Mm.
to apply to Ivy League schools that I wanted to apply to, and sort of my journey getting to NYU and, becoming successful, becoming a social worker. And so that's really what it's about. It's really to reach out to
Mm.
other young, people of color. I mean, even if they're not pursuing social work, just to inspire them to keep going and,
Yeah.
and achieve their goals.
How did you meet up with the founder of Latinx, Erica
So
Sandoval?
yeah, so it was just it's personal connections. We actually met after in an affinity group at NYU,
Ah,
alum, and after the murder of George Floyd, they had this wonderful like safe space where people could just talk about their outrage and everything that we were feeling. And I met her there, and I invited her as a speaker to the hospital where I work, and we became friendly. And then I introduced her to some people that became authors. She knew other people, and it's sort of like that, word of mouth and people coming together.
mm-hmm.
It's a
So
great collective.
where do we go from here? What's coming up that we should know about?
Well, so Erica and who is very passionate about this work and
Uh,
mentoring young, Latino social workers, had this wonderful idea and started a nonprofit called Siembra Today, and I'm on the board of directors. Very
ah,
proud to be on the board of directors, and the whole point is, many oftentimes Latino social workers have barriers in
right.
becoming successful, and obviously we have to take a licensing exam um, that costs. There's a cost for that, and then you have to take courses sometimes to do that, and then there's some wonderful social workers who have these amazing ideas and want to start projects, and it's often hard to find funding for that. So Siembra today was really born out of a need, I think, to support those young social workers, young entrepreneurs, to really be able to do everything they can do to become successful. So we want to be able to, raise money so that we can support these projects, support them getting their license. Um, Things that we didn't have growing up, right? That would have been really helpful, and we're actually having the launch of Siembra today on Thursday, on April 18th. And it's going to be great. It's going to be at NYU. It's a free event. People can sign up for it online. And it's going to be at NYU Palladium Multipurpose Room,
Mm.
114th Street. And it's in the evening. And starts at 5 o'clock. And it's going to be great. There's going to be some of the authors from Latinx are going to be moderating the panel. And we're just going to be talking about, just the field of social work and how you can be successful in sharing stories and really networking, which is the most important
Yeah,
thing for these
and
social
people
workers.
want to know. I hear your computer buzzing in the background. They're trying to
So
reach out
many
to you.
challenges
You're
of
busy.
like virtual stuff. Yes.
It's all good. Where can people go for more information?
So they can, if they Siembra today, if they
Uh,
can just, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the website here. I can't bring it up, but if they just Google Siembra today, it'll come up, and we have the events posted there. Yeah, and we hope that people can join.
that's good.
Um,
You want to give a shout out to anybody that's working with you?
yeah,
They're
I mean,
watching us right now.
yes, again, I want to thank Alejandra for inviting me to do
Uh-huh.
this. And I want to thank Erica Sandoval really for bringing us all together, for having this amazing idea of having, Siembra today and helping all these young Latino social workers. She does a lot of healing stuff. So there's another event on the 20th. Recharge and Revitalize, which is holistic healing. So, we usually combine the psychotherapy with some of the holistic healing. And that can also be found at sandovalcollab.com.
That's good. Erica Sandoval and the whole crew. You have to have somebody that gathers people, moving people in the same direction for a common cause to make it all
Correct.
happen. We thank you for all
Yeah,
that you're doing to help others get what they need out of life. We appreciate you.
my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
You got it. Lottie Burgos, Loudy Burgos, and she's a LCSW, founder of Burgos Psychotherapy. We'll take a quick break. I've got more coming your way next right here on Open.
I remember when the Bronx did not really have a media outlet properly representing the people of the Bronx.
BronxNet provides for the community by being a community where people can be empowered to share their voices.
We are in a really great place technologically. We've got all the resources that we need to be effective.
Whether it's through cameras, storytelling, editing, we have provided those services for 30 years.
BronxNet's mission is to be a voice for the community.
To educate, to inform, and to inspire.
And you can be a part of it. We've built studios for you.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit bronxnet.org to learn more.
Thank you, BronxNet. Congratulations on 30 years. What an amazing accomplishment. On behalf of myself, Alina Dow, and I represent the Dow Twins and the Dow Twins Show, who are young producers. They started, I think, when they were 11, and now they're 14. They started making 30-second little fun facts, and now they are doing 30-minute shows. And it goes to a testament of how much you guys do in the Bronx to make young people want to continue to be involved. I wish you 30 more amazing years and beyond. Thank you for what you do.
And here we go. Welcome back. Our next guest is internationally known all over the world as the producer and director of the McDonald's Gospel Fest. Worked with the biggest names in gospel, including Aretha Franklin, Donnie McClurkin, Fantasia, CeCe Winans, T.D. Jakes, Hezekiah Walker, Yolanda Adams, and so many others. He joins us today to highlight this year's McDonald's Gospel Fest and so much more. So please welcome to the show. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, A. Curtis Farrow, my friend.
Hey,
How are
Dr.
you?
Bob Lee.
Nice to see you.
You too. I love you, man. You
I
do
love you
great
too,
work.
man. And
It's always exciting to be here with you, my brother, because you have saved so many lives over the year. over the years. I often think, because, remember when you used to give those health tips? And I was like, I wonder how many lives have actually been saved. You know what I'm saying? And you do such a great job. And
We
thank
spoke
you.
about everything from bunions on your toes
Yes,
to
yes,
the hair on your
yes.
head.
Yes, and actually, I always tell everybody, I say, you were ahead of the mental health issue way before everybody. Now it's a big deal.
Yeah,
way
it's a big
before
deal,
everybody else. So.
Well, we have social media, but I don't want to get into that's a whole nother
That's
story.
a whole,
There's books out about that and everything.
That needs its own show.
Yeah. So it's so wonderful to see you. You've been bringing
so
people together
excited.
in the gospel world for so many years now. How many years is this?
Oh my God. Well, it's my 25th year as the executive producer of the McDonald's Gospel Fest, but I was doing this even beforehand, as soon as I was out of college.
Yeah. You've been doing this. So this year we have the McDonald's Gospel Fest. It's in a couple of places now?
Yeah, well, this year it's in a couple of places. Normally the McDonald's Gospel Fest over the years, it's the 42nd year of McDonald's Gospel Fest.
Wow.
It was started by a group of Black McDonald owner-operators who wanted to do a give back to the community, along with BLS at that time.
Yeah.
And
Still.
Yes.
I'm with you.
You're with me. And so then 25 years ago, they reached out to me and said, would you come and produce the McDonald's Gospel Fest for us? And I said, no. At that time, I was doing special shows for like Deutsche Bank and folks like that, just one night offs with a agent of mine, Stuart White, and I would do these gospel things. And so I don't know whether you remember Carolyn Jones, the famous marketing guru, and she called me and she said, would you please we want to talk to you. So I went in, I interviewed, I left, came back and interviewed again, and I left. And then she said, we really want to offer you this job. And I was like, no, I'm not interested. And then I was a member of the New Hope Baptist Church in Newark, where, Whitney, Dion, all of that, it's just music capital of gospel music especially. So I went to prayer that day, and Aunt Rebe, who is Whitney Houston's aunt, she passed away now, but Sissy Houston's older sister, she grabbed me by my arm that day at the prayer meeting and go, boy, God is trying to bless you. And I was like, okay. And I get back in the car, and there's only one message, and I was like, okay. But remember that these kids, they're too young, they don't understand. And then I had to call into my answering machine at home to hear the message, And the message was Carolyn Jones again, and the McDonald owner-operator named Lee Dunham. And they were saying, we would love for you to produce the McDonald's Gospel Fest. This was the third time. And I said, yes. And you know what's wild, Bob? It changed my life. And the strangest thing about it, and I always tell everybody, sometimes you can pray for things, and if it doesn't come the way you see it coming, you can curse your blessings. I had been praying to do something like this because I had been doing everything from Broadway shows, pop, rock. I've been producing and doing shows for years. And I had prayed, oh God, I want to do something that really is yours. And it came to me, and I almost cursed my blessing. I said yes, and here we are 25 years later, and I've been around the world with it, and it is amazing.
See, when God comes a knocking,
that's right.
You got to pay attention.
You got to pay attention, right. And it may not look like you want it to look.
Exactly.
But it is a blessing.
You may
all the
not
same.
be in the moment, right?
That's right.
But God, it's in God's timing.
That's right. It's in God's timing. So, and here we are, 25 years later, and we're excited. And we, when I took over, we immediately went to Madison Square Garden, and we did it at Madison Square Garden for years. Then we moved to the Prudential Arena in Newark, New Jersey. And one of our biggest places, though, for McDonald's Gospel Fest every year has been the Bronx. We get so many Bronx folks who would travel to New Jersey to the show, or who would show up for the, the auditions, the choirs, the praise dancers, soloists. They would show up in, major numbers. So this year, God put it on my heart. It was like, okay, you've done all of the big places. Let's split it up and go back to the community. So then we did one in Brooklyn. We're doing one in Brooklyn. We're doing one in the Bronx and one in Jersey. And so we're so happy to come to the Bronx. The folks of the Bronx have been begging me for years, Mr. Farrell, when are you going to come to the Bronx? When are you going to come to the Bronx? Well, guess what? We're in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
April the 20th, Saturday, we're in the Bronx at the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts.
There you go. What time does it start?
It starts at 8 o'clock. And we those who love gospel music, it is going to be a true gospel and Christian music show. So if you love gospel music, as an art form,
Yeah.
you want to be there. If you love gospel music because you love God, you want to be there. So I decided, since it was the Bronx and Brooklyn, that we would really go back to foundation. And so I was like, okay, you know, there's Kirk Franklin, there's all the young ones who are out there. That's great. They're wonderful. But I really wanted to go to the foundation of gospel music. So we called the great First Lady of Gospel Music, Shirley Caesar. So we were like, Shirley Caesar is coming.
Can't go wrong with
Can't go wrong with Shirley Caesar. So we're excited about that. Shirley Caesar.
I've hosted many shows with Shirley.
Yes. So I keep telling everybody, you got to bring your mom, bring your grandma, bring your father, your aunt. I promise you, they're going to love it. The other thing that we did is that I was looking, and I wanted it to be a dynamite show. So I wanted it to be just gospel dynamite.
Yeah,
I wanted it to be explosive, especially this is the first time we've ever done the show in the Bronx. And so I thought, oh, wait, when Shirley Caesar can't do it, people always go to Dottie Peoples.
Yeah.
And they have Dottie Peoples do the show. And I was like, what if we put Shirley Caesar and Dottie Peoples on the same show? That is going to be explosive.
Watch out.
Yeah, so we got Dottie Peoples, we got Shirley Caesar, Dottie Peoples, and then Byron Cage. The blessing of the Lord is here.
Yeah.
Blessing of the Lord. You know, he's going to be just in that excitement. And so
even if you're just coming in and you love music, period.
Yeah,
it'll
music
pull
as an
you
art
in.
form.
You'll
Yes.
catch the Holy Spirit. You'll be
Yes.
clapping along, jumping up and down.
Absolutely.
And you may want to bring your tambourine. Are they allowed to bring
Yes,
a
they
tambourine?
bring a tambourine. Come on and have a good time. That's what it's all about. And that's our theme this year. Our theme is revival. So just come on in and have a good time. And everyone is so welcoming. And, you know, the whole point of gospel music is the good news.
Yeah.
So when you come, it's only about feeling good, being good, and doing good.
And
that's what
the
it's all
Bible,
about.
Good news.
Yes, the good news.
Now, you know, a lot of people think that they come to the show and this is it, everything's prepared. But
Right.
there's some things that happen before that.
Yes,
Tell
yes.
us what has to happen before that and how can people get involved?
So the things that happen before that, of course, we have what we call the amateur competition beforehand. And in the Bronx, it's going to be just two categories, and it's going to be the soloists. So you're going to get to see 8 to 10 of the best soloists in the community, you know, and they're going to be just amazing. We also have the rappers. Now, I don't know whether you remember, but back in 2002, I put rapping as a category, got in a lot of trouble. You know, a lot of pastors, anything new they don't like. You know what I'm saying?
But some of those rappers are the biggest gospel
They
rappers
are.
out there
They
now.
are. They're some of the biggest rappers. Right, exactly. So we did that. So they're gonna get the opportunity to see both of those categories, and then an inspirational word from the Bronx own Peggy Smalls, Bishop Peggy Smalls is going to do an inspirational word. I'm hoping you'll come and talk to the people, you know, and many other. It's going to be a combination of the Bronx and the entire Bronx area, North Harlem, everyone coming together to celebrate the good news. And I'm going to make news here today. Making the news. There's an announcement that the Bronx Mass Choir, which everyone knows, the Bronx Mass Choir, that they were magnificent. They have put themselves back together, and they are also going to be on the show.
Here we come.
Yes,
Here we come.
yes. So we're
news,
excited.
Let me see. News.
Yes,
North, east.
Yes.
West, south, news.
The Bronx Mass Choir is also going to be on the show, and that's going to be amazing. It's going to be an emotional night.
Oh, we got to check this out.
Yes.
Now you've been doing this for so many years.
Yes.
What stands out in your mind? It got to be it's not just one thing, but if you can just give one or two things, what stands out in your mind? What just came out and said, "Wow, this was fantastic."
You know, when you first started doing, you want to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. But I always had a dream, and my dream was always to get Aretha Franklin to come and star in the McDonald's Gospel Fest. And everybody, I mean, all of even my famous friends were like, it's never going to happen.
Check out her background. Father the Preacher.
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
Sang in church
And plus her Amazing Grace album was the top gospel album for like 25 or 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So that was like one of my, I really wanted to do that. So then I called her agent, and her agent was like, oh, I'm not sure, but I'll just I'll leave Miss Franklin the message. And I said, okay. And I was like, okay, so I just hung up. Well, my phone rang 3 minutes later, and I picked up the phone, and the voice said, is this Mr. Farrell? And I was like, yes, it's Mr. Farrell. And, well, this is Miss Franklin. And I was like, oh, my God. And I didn't have preparation. You know what I'm saying? As you can tell, I'm a talker. I can talk. That is the one time I didn't know what to say. I was just like, Miss Franklin, I love you. Miss Franklin, I love you. You know, over and over again. Yeah, and so then, and it was that easy. I said to her what we wanted to do. I said, if you would please come, we're doing 3 shows. I didn't ask for her to do 1 show. I said, we're doing 3 shows at the Garden. I would love if you would come. And she hadn't done a gospel set since she did that recording in LA, and that was like 20 years. And I said, if you would just come, I said, you don't even have to do your hits, but if you would come and do, you know, gospel music for us, I would just be honored. And she said yes.
You hit the ceiling.
And oh my God, I hit the ceiling. And when I hung up, I was like, oh my God, I talked to Miss Franklin. I talked to Miss Franklin. But my point is that then with all of these people, you become friends.
Yeah.
So Miss Franklin, and those who don't know, she didn't fly. She would take the bus everywhere. And there were times that she would call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, and I could always tell she was on the bus just to say, oh, did you hear this singer? Or have you heard this singer? Have you heard this song? You know, just talking. And so it built a great relationship.
Became friends.
It became friends. And so I looked at it and I said, wow, God has really put me, for me, God has really put me in a position to really help, not only with the kingdom work, but to be a source for everybody, no matter who they are. And so I don't take it lightly anymore. You know, my thing is all about young people. As you know, the Gospel Fest is all about young people. And so I have learned over the years through relationships like that, you know what? It's bigger than me. And it's not about me, but it's about what can we do to help others. So even our PAs that day, everyone who's working with us will be young people. Yes, oh, there they are. There we are. Byron Cage, Shirley Caesar, and Dottie Peoples. Yes, Saturday, April the 20th. Yes, the Lehman Center for the Arts and the Bronx Mass Choir.
Yeah, beautiful.
And many more.
Oh, we got to come and check it out. We got to check it out.
Yes. Yeah, so, and they can get their tickets at lehmancenter.org or go to the Lehman Center for the Performing Arts. Just put it up and you'll get your tickets, and you want to be in the house.
Oh, man.
You want to be in the house.
So this is going to happen in 2 different places. You got Brooklyn, and you're coming here to the Bronx?
It's Brooklyn on April the 13th at the Cornerstone Baptist Church, the historic Cornerstone Baptist Church. Then it is April the 20th in the Bronx, right at Lehman Center for the Performing Arts. Saturday, April the 20th, and that's at 8 p.m. That one starts at 8 p.m. And then Mother's Day weekend, we will be back in Jersey where we normally are, but this time we'll be at the Newark Symphony Hall. So we're doing a tour. We're calling it the Revival Tour. You know what I mean? Just going back to the community. You know, sometimes you have to do that, Bob. You really have to shake it off and say, okay, this is great that we get 18,000 people together, but are we really hitting the community?
Right.
You know, that's what we keep asking ourselves. So it's like, you know what? Let's go back to the community. And I have to tell you that just hearing from people in the Bronx, just the thank yous that I'm getting already, and we haven't even done it yet, is amazing. I'm like, okay, we did the right thing.
And the people that have come up to you over the years and, hey, man, thank you for what you've done. Thank you for sharing the gospel with us, basically.
Yes.
Because you're saying, you know,
it's
gospel
a ministry.
could be exactly.
It's a ministry.
Song. And you know. And it doesn't stop. It's going to be a legacy, and you know.
Yes, and I'm helping with that. I have young people who I put as associate producers and as producers, and I'm training them because I think we don't do that anymore, Bob. I think we don't train young people.
People are afraid.
Yes, people are afraid.
But there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yes.
I teach people my craft all the time.
That's right.
Somebody said, I'm going to take your place. Yeah, come on, take my place.
Yes.
Everybody has their own individuality, their own personality.
Correct.
And you can do it.
That's
if
correct.
you want to do it.
That's correct. And I keep telling everybody, God anointed everyone with their own anointing. And guess what, Bob? You're so anointed in what you do, and nobody else can do it.
Thank you.
They can come in. They're going to do something different, but they can't do what you do. And that is the same for each and every one. And I try to tell all the young people the same thing. Don't try to be like anybody else. Just try to be like you. And if you're like you, you're going to find you're going to be much more successful in life than you would any other time.
What do you tell people who want to get involved in becoming a gospel singer or performer?
What do they have I always tell them it's all about your craft. And I always tell them that when you look at Whitney Houston, at which you know I'm very close to the Houston family, and I did Whitney's homegoing service. But when you look at Whitney Houston, when you look at the Aretha Franklins, when you look at the great singers, you know what I'm saying? They all have one thing in common, that they were raised in the church.
Yeah.
They sang in the choir. And the reason I always say to everyone who comes to me, I'm like, if you're not singing in a gospel choir, if you're not singing in a church choir, you're not getting the best training that you can get. It's the absolute best training that you can get if you really want to be a singer and you want to learn the vocal tool of using that voice. You know, I'll put up a gospel singer, I'll put up a Christian singer, I'll put them up against anybody, and guess what? I promise you, they won't lose their voice. Everybody else will have lost their voice, and they will still be singing because they've been trained, and you know what I'm saying? And they're getting that training every day, and free.
And you could be 60, 70, 80, and 90
Yeah, it doesn't
years
matter.
old.
Yeah, and it's free.
Yeah.
It's free. Where can you get it free? Any place else they want to charge you some money to train you. I see so many folks who pay for voice lessons, and I'm like, why are you paying for that voice lesson when all you got to do is just go to that church down the street corner, go join their choir, and I promise you, you're going to get the same experience you would from a personal vocal coach.
Beautiful.
And I'm not saying anything against vocal coaches. I love you, but I'm just, you asked me the question that if you really, if you look at the greatest singers, I mean, the greatest singers that are out there, they all have that background.
That's a nugget. Grab that nugget right there from A. Curtis Farrell. Man, I tell you. So what happens during the year after Mother's Day? You're going to do this 1, 2, 3 thing.
We do this 1,
That's
2,
the
3.
Trinity.
Yes, yes. And then we start up all over again. But then, you know, of course, I do things in Miami, and we do things all over the country and South Africa, and we're all over the world. And I'm just excited to be involved. We're doing we have a project that we're doing in South Africa for Nelson Mandela's birthday. We're putting together a 7,000 voice all-male chorus. Wow. I'm not sure, I broke the world record for the largest gospel choir, but so I've done a 1,000 voice choir, a 4,000, a 5,000 voice choir. But we're going to do a 7,000 all-male chorus to celebrate Nelson Mandela.
How do you keep
and bring everybody
in sync?
Well, you know what? That's the great thing about the digital age. I can have everybody trained because they come from all over the world. Yeah. We can have everybody train in their own countries by just going online. Everything is there, their parts. They train online, and then when they come together in South Africa, when everybody comes together, we will have 2 days of rehearsal, of putting it all together, and then we perform that third day.
Wait, what day is this?
It will be actually on Nelson Mandela's birthday. I believe it's July 19th of 2026. So we're excited about it. It's going to be an amazing time. So,
wow.
Yeah. I'm not just Gospel Fest. I'm not just about Gospel Fest. I'm a gospel guy. I'm a music guy, but I'm also about getting out there and getting around the world and helping to spread the good news.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I didn't stick to the script.
Oh, no, it's okay.
We were going back and forth so well. I said, but let me just bypass this.
We don't need a script.
Bypass surgery on this.
Look, we're friends. We don't need a script. You know, the most important thing is that it's the Bronx. Yeah. McDonald's Gospel Fest 2024 is in the Bronx. You want to be there. It is going to be an exciting time. We're going to celebrate. We're going to clap our hands. We're going to shout. We're going to hug. We're going to have a good time. April the 20th, Lehman Center for the Performing Arts, Shirley Caesar, Dottie Peoples, Byron Cage, Bronx Mass Choir, and many, many more. You want to be there.
And we didn't talk about the after party.
And hopefully Bob Lee is going to be there. And hopefully Bob Lee is going to be there.
That's
so
right.
Come and meet Bob in person. I'm sure you have many folks out there who watch you. This is the time. Come, and that's the other thing. It's just full of love. You know, everybody comes just ready to have a good time.
Absolutely. I know it. I feel it already.
Yes,
I feel it before we even get there.
So I'm very happy to represent the McDonald's Gospel Fest, and I'm so happy that the folks at McDonald's thought it not robbery to allow me in this position to do this. So
you want to shout some of them out?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, there's all of the McDonald's owner-operators. If I shout one of them out, they'll be upset. So let me just say, McDonald's and the McDonald's owner-operators, you do a great job giving back to the community. It's important. I know you do it a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
even what you do with your community affairs, I don't even know how you do it all, how you keep it all here. You know, that's a brilliance that you have, that God blessed you with. But it is always important to give back. And so for that, we say thank you.
It is. Where can we go for more information?
For more information, go to lehmancenter.org, or you can go to McDonald's Gospel Fest online, and you can also go to Lehman Center for the Performing Arts, which is what I would recommend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Curtis Farrell, producer
Yes.
and director, McDonald's Gospel Fest.
Bob Lee, my friend.
Always a pleasure to
You
see
too,
you.
my brother.
And you do great work. God has you.
Thank you. You
are-
too, and
you are
God has you
totally
as well.
blessed.
Thank you, my brother.
All right.
I appreciate it.
We'll take a quick break right here. I've got more. That's all coming your way next on Open.
BronxNet is a wonderful place because it inspires people that want to consider a career in film and television. It's a way to come, learn, it's cost effective, and it's a way to actualize your dreams.
Hello, my name is Tyrone Lowe. I host a show at BronxNet called The Legends, where I bring real legends, DJs, upcoming artists, actually people from the past that's into entertainment. I want to thank BronxNet. First of all, I want to thank for the 30 years of the actually being active here. It has opened a lot of doors for me to the point where I'm branching off to have my own network. Fulfill your dreams here. That's all I have to say.
Without BronxNet, I don't know how we'd be able to showcase the important and amazing talents that we have here at the Bronx. We've been able to feature lots of great artists, performers, people who deal with coffee and small entrepreneurship businesses, discuss controversial topics, and also be able to share the voice of residents that might not normally have access without a place like BronxNet.
And welcome back. I hope you're enjoying yourself thus far. We're having a great time here at Open. Hey, listen, our last guest is an experienced development and marketing professional. She is the founder of Sankofa Bridge Incorporated, and she joins us to speak about how she's providing culturally enriching experiences for youth coming from low-income communities. So please welcome to the show, Corrine McCall. Corrine, how are you?
Great. How are you, Dr. Lee?
Great. I love your colors. Look at you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I told you I have a few in my closet, right?
Yes, you did. And I'll be heading to Ghana this year, so I might pick you out a few more.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I'm going to hold you to it. Listen, tell us, I know
Okay.
you're new in what you do. You just started this organization. When did you start it, and what made you think about starting it?
So I started Sankofa Bridge this year.
So the reason why I started Sankofa Bridge is because as a child, my mother would always take me to different experiences, whether that be a Broadway show, a dinner and a play, whether it be a Schomburg Museum or to see the Alvin Ailey dancers. It was a concert, whatever it was. And so she always wanted to provide me with these cultural experiences. So now as an adult, I want to pay those experiences forward to the children today, to the youth today. So
Yeah.
Sankofa Bridge provides cultural experiences to children or youth from low-income backgrounds, 100% free of cost. And we do that via travel.
All right, I like that. And the youngsters, of course, know what Sankofa means when you get them together?
You know what? So let me just explain what Sankofa means. Sankofa is an Akan word, and that's from Ghana.
Right.
And so Sankofa means to look back and get it. So if you
Go
look
back
at one
and
of
get
the
it.
simple, yes, look back and get it. So if you look at one of the symbols of Sankofa, it's a fictional bird. And the bird is facing forward, but its head is turned backwards. And the reason why the head is turned backwards is because it's looking back at the experiences that it had before. It's learning from those experiences, and it's using that information to move forward in life. So if you notice, there's like a little ball in the mouth. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it right there. That's the bird. And if you notice also, our logo incorporates the bird looking back with the nugget in its mouth. And that nugget represents the knowledge.
Yep.
Yes,
Beautiful.
that's it.
Beautiful. So you got some great ideas, and you got some. You have a great organization, and you're bringing people together. Now, when you bring the students together or children, what will they learn upon going over to Ghana, West Africa?
Okay, so before we even get to Ghana, we're going to have some national excursions right here in the United States. So again, I'm going to have them do some of the things I did as a child. I'm going to take them to Broadway, a Broadway play and a
good.
dinner. I'm going to take them to the Schomburg Museum. I'm going to take them to Carnegie Hall, and I'm going to take them to see the Alvin Ailey dancers. We're going to go to DC, to the museum in DC, the National, I think the African American Museum in DC. We're going to take them to New Orleans because they have a rich cultural history in New Orleans. There's a plethora of places that we're going to take them. All of them I can't go over now. But one of the other places is Puerto Rico. So we'll take them to Louisa in Puerto Rico, which has a huge, rich Afro culture, Afro-Latina culture in Puerto Rico. And we'll take them there to Louisa. And then we'll do one international trip per year. And this year, we're taking them, this August, we're taking them to Ghana, 100% free of cost. We'll get your passports, we'll get the visa, we'll get everything that you need.
Wow.
Of course, there's some criteria to be a part of the program, which is listed on the website. But as long as you're admitted into the program, you don't have to pay for a dime. Nothing comes out of pocket.
You're on a mission. What is that mission?
I am. That mission is to break that proverbial glass ceiling that's over these children's heads. I want them to realize that they are so much more than the four corners of their neighborhood, the four corners of their city, the four corners of the state, the country, and there is no limit.
Yeah, you know, and that's so very, very important, you know, as children are growing up, to know that there's something outside of those circles that you grew up in. Because sometimes you get caught in there thinking that this is the only thing. This is the only thing in life right here. You know, I'm conditioned to believe that I can't do no more than what's inside of my circles. So when you break out of that circle and you open up, see, look at openness right there. When you open up and get a chance to see other things in life, then you know, your experience will be greater. Of course.
And if you see it, you can be it. Sometimes these children don't even see the different types of jobs, the different opportunities that are out there. I mean, we are not just relegated to basketball and music. There is so much more that we can do. We just need the exposure, and that's what I'm trying to do: expose these children so that they can see that there's a whole world out there that they just need to tap into.
Yeah,
and I want to be that person to help them do it.
Beautiful, and you have to find out what piques your interest in order to know where you're going to go. You know, to move forward, you have to find out what's your passion. What's your passion-driven life? What are you very, very passionate about? That's the thing that you should follow, or one of the things you should follow. Yes.
Right. To answer your other question, I kind of didn't get to it. But when we get to Ghana, one of the things that we'll do in Ghana is we'll go to the Cape Coast Castle and we'll go to the Elmina Castle. Yes, as well as restaurants. We'll just try to have as much fun as possible, but we'll also make sure that they get that cultural experience and that history. And so that's also what we'll do in Ghana.
Yeah, I'm going to get my bags ready.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Talk about some of the programs and services that you offer by Sankofa
So right
Bridge.
now, Sankofa Bridge is very new, so we haven't expanded our program, but the travel program is our flagship initiative. So that's what we're starting with. And as we continue to grow, we'll start to grow our programs and expand out a little bit more. So right now, the programs are offered to children in New York City and Westchester County, the travel program specifically.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like it. How did you, what made you want to do this again? Let me go back to that.
First of all, I'm an avid traveler. I love to travel. I'm married. My husband, Reverend McCall, we travel together. We go everywhere. So we're constantly traveling. And I mean, just having these experiences when we travel is just such, it's just shifting. It's life shifting. And so I just, that's what kind of motivated me. Even before we went to Ghana last year, I said to myself, I want to start this organization, and I want to start an organization specifically for children so that they can travel. Because I find that a lot of adults that I speak to now, when I ask them, have you been outside of the country? They've never been outside of the country.
No.
A lot of them have just gone down south and that's it. And they don't have a passport. They've never had a passport. So I want to make sure that these children get a passport so that they can travel. That's your ticket.
And get that passport early because there's a backlog. So you put in for it now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what motivated me. Plus, by trade, I am a nonprofit professional. I have a degree in nonprofit management from Columbia University. So I already have the know-how to run a nonprofit organization. I work in the nonprofit sector. So it was like a natural progression to this point.
You feel it? You're passionate about it?
Oh, extremely passionate about it. Extremely. Yes.
So I'm saying the McCalls are calling.
I like that.
You gonna use it?
I'm gonna use it. I love that.
That's good. So what are some of the things that you're working on now to make all of this happen? Because there's a foundation, there's a thing that you need to do to bring it to where it needs to go.
Well, right now I'm working on fundraising. So I'm raising money right now so that I can make sure that these children have this experience 100% free of charge. So I think that's where my focus is now. The marketing, the advertising, the fundraising. So I'm working on that. For the international experience, for Ghana specifically, I have a nonprofit organization that I teamed up with in Ghana. And that organization is ready to receive these children. They have a huge compound out there. They have a hospital on the compound, a church. They have an elementary school. They have missionaries that come regularly to visit the compound. They have a nursing school. I mean, they just have so much, and they're continually growing. And so they are ready to receive these children. When we get there, these children are going to have a private chef. They're going to have a person who comes in and cleans for them. We'll have a private driver. This is what I had when I went.
You're going to spoil these kids. They have got somebody that's going to clean for them.
Yes.
They got a chef, a driver.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Yes. So,
Crew, you ready? You guys ready to go?
Internationally, we are prepared. So I think the big thing right now is just raising as much money as we can, trying to get donations to Sankofa Bridge so that we can make sure we provide these children with this top-notch experience.
Who are you reaching out to for funds?
Just in general, part of fundraising, grants, trying to get grants, speaking to corporations, different corporations, and asking if they would come on and help, with these children and with the funds. And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
All right, Corrine,
it's a lot.
I have people right now watching you. I have corporations watching you. I've got people that can help What do you want to say? I'm giving you the camera right now. Give her the camera. Bam.
Yes.
Ask for what you
Boom.
need.
I would, thank you. I would absolutely love, if anyone watching, I don't care if you're a corporation, a person, a foundation, whatever it is, please visit sankofabridge.org//donate, and please help donate. Any amount is acceptable, any amount. But if you can just donate anything so that I can help provide these children with this experience that many of us were never afforded. These children are from low-income backgrounds whose parents cannot afford to give them this experience. And even if they could afford it, I'm sure they have other resources that they have to allocate their money to. So I want to make sure that I give these children this experience and change their lives. It's all about transformation. It's all about change. It's all about opportunity. And this is an opportunity that I really want to give other children. And so again, if you would like to donate, if you would like to, even if it's not money, if it's your time, even if it's resources from your company or whatever it is, it could be luggage. These children may need luggage. They may need clothing or, to go to this other country. Please visit sankofabridge.org/donate. And if you would like to contact us, there's a contact form on our website as well.
And of course, you're a 501c3 and it's tax deductible.
Yes, all donations are tax deductible. We are a 501c3 organization. Thank you for that reminder.
Beautiful. All right, so Children Grid, you already have a group of people ready to go? They're folding their clothes, getting ready?
We need some children. We need some more children. Just trying to get the word out there. I think people are not used to the word free. And I think when they hear free, they think, oh, there must be a gimmick behind this. There is no gimmick. If you know me, you know I'm serious. There is no gimmick. And so I'm a philanthropist at heart. I don't just give to these children. I give in general. I'm in this in this sector, in the nonprofit sector, for a reason, because giving back to my community, giving back to others is what inspires me to continue in life. So there is no gimmick behind this. And so I really, really implore any parents who are listening, if your child is between the ages of 15 and 17, and you come from a family household with an income of $55,000 or less, please reach out to us. If you have more questions, feel free to use the contact form on the website. And just please, this is not a gimmick. This is real. It is free, 100%.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Corinne McCall, the McCalls are calling. They come a-calling.
Can you hear us?
Founder, President, CEO, Sankofa Bridge Incorporated. Thank you for all you do and good luck with everything, okay?
Thank you so much.
All
Have
right.
a blessed day.
You too. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. We want to thank our guests for joining us, you, our viewers, for tuning in and checking it all out. Make sure you keep following us at BronxNet TV for continued coverage. And thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee. I'll catch you another day, another way. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice. Let your choice control the chooser. And remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way you're right. So say you can, and you will. For all of us here at BronxNet, all the people up in the control room, all the people on the floor here, thank you guys so much for all that you do. Catch you another day, another way. I love you all. Have a great day. I'll see you over 107.5 WVLS. I love you all. Peace.